Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video I will explain how our guard AI will work. So for example, this is our guard right here. Alright, first of all let's talk about the guard movement. So if we provide waypoints to this guard, then this guard will walk between that waypoints one by one. Alright, and if we don't provide any waypoints to this guard, then the guard will just stay in one position and guard the area. Alright, and how will this guard shoot, or you can say attack the player? For example, if the player takes out any rifle in the presence of a guard or try to shoot in the presence of the guard, then this guard will detect that and the guard will start shooting on the player. Alright, and if the player tries to run, the guard will follow the player, and when the player is in the shooting radius, the guard will shoot the player. Right, in this way our guard AI system will work. So first of all, select the player, make sure that you take this player as player and set it to a layer which will be by the name of player. Alright, make sure that you do these two things. Then select the card, click on prefab, unpack completely, name this as guard 1, and in this guard 1 make sure that you drag and drop this controller. After the controller, add a character controller to this guard. Right, move it up, and then make the radius of it as 0.3 and the height will be 2.5. Let's make it 1.2. That's it. After this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a script. So right here in the scripts folder, create another folder by the name of AI, and inside this AI, let's create a C# script by the name of guard. That's it. Click on guard and drag and drop the script right there at the top. Now let's open this up, and let's first of all go ahead and declare all of the variables required for this AI. Alright, so at the top, add a header by the name of character info. In the character info, the first variable will be of type float by the name of moving speed. Then the next one will be running speed. Then we will have a private float by the name of current moving speed. Alright, and right here make the C capital. That's it. Then the next one will be a float which will be public by the name of turning speed, and this will be 300 by default. Then we will have another float which will be private by the name of character health, and this is gonna be equals to 40. Alright, you can set your own character health for the AI, but I'm gonna just leave it to 40 because I want the AI character to be a little bit weaker than the player. If you want the AI character to be stronger, then you can increase their health and also increase their damage power. Okay, and for the damage power we will be creating a variable, so just wait for it. Once we have the character info, after this we're gonna create another header, name this as destination variables. In here, first of all, we will be adding a reference to the animator, name it as animator. Then we will create a list for our waypoints in which we will store our waypoints. Alright, so this list will be of type transform, name it as waypoints. Okay, then create a private integer by the name of current. Let's make the c small this time. Current waypoint index, and this is going to be equals to 0. Then create a private bool by the name of moving forward, which will be true. Right down below, create another header. Okay, make sure it is inside the square brackets. Name this as guard AI. In here, we will create a reference to the player body. Okay, so public game object, name this as player body. And guys, as I told you, first of all, we will be adding references, or you can say we will be declaring all of the variables first of all, okay? And then we will be working on our guard AI. So we will name this as player body. Then we need a reference to the player layer mask. So layer mask, let's name this as player layer. After this, create a float by the name of vision radius, and now this will be the vision radius in which the player will detect if the guard will detect if the player is shooting or holding any rifle, and when the player is in the vision radius, the guard will chase and shoot the player. Alright, then we also need a shooting radius, so when the player is in the shooting radius, then the guard will be able to shoot. Okay, when the guard knows that now the player is in the shooting radius, the guard will shoot. Alright, then we need a public bool, name this as player in vision radius, and by this bool we will know that if the player is in vision radius or not, and also player in shooting radius. Okay, after this we will create another header by the name of guard shooting variables. In here we will create a public float by the name of give damage of. It will be by default set to 3. The guard will give a damage of 3. If you want the guard to be a little bit harder than or stronger than you want, then you want to be increasing this value, right? So you can increase it if you want. Then the next one will be the shooting range, and I will set it to 100 by default. Then the next one will be the shooting raycast area. This will be the area from where the guard will shoot. Then we don't want the guard to shoot every second non-stop, so we want some interval between each shoot. So for that we're going to create this float time between shoot, and we will check by using this bool if the guard previously shoot. Alright, after this we will create another header. This time it will be character controller and gravity, because of course we want to add gravity to our AI character. So we will first of all be needing a reference to the character controller of it. Name it as character controller. Then create a public float by the name of gravity and set it to minus, actually 9.81. Then create a private vector 3 by the name of velocity. and at the end create a bool by the name of is alerted, set it to false by default, and by using this bool we will know that if the guard is alerted by the player behavior or not, if the player is holding any gun or shooting. Okay, then if that two things happens, or if the player shoot a guard or shoot any other character, then we will alert the guard nearby. Okay, so we will set this to true. So this is all the variables for now which is needed for our guard AI. And guys, you will be thinking why I've declared all of the variables. First of all is because many of you guys were having issues. Okay, because many of you guys skip declaring variables and then got errors. So that's why I've decided first of all to add all of the variables first of all one by one, so that you guys don't miss declaring any variable. And now in the next video what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on our guard AI.